Edition of the Joe Sixpack Podcast, the official podcast of the Joe Sixpack Racing League, where we not only talk about Joe Sixpack Racing, we talk about iRacing, and we interview people from inside the world of iRacing and outside on a series we call Faces Behind the Races. Joe Sixpack Podcast is live on twitch.tv and later for download on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, Anchor, Shoutcast, Pocket Cast, Stitcher. And also we upload the video section to YouTube, because even though Twitch is cheap, it's free. They only hold on to the videos for about 2 weeks, and that makes it possible for us to do this at almost no cost. Tonight, we have some special guests, Justin Clapper and Bo Condon, and we're going to talk about what they do in real life for racing, because it's a pretty good story they've got going on. But the feature tonight, the subject of tonight's discussion, is a great idea that's called the 24 Beers of Daytona. 24 hours and 24 beers. And that's going to be an iRacing race coming up on January 29th and 30th. So I'd like right now to introduce Justin Clapper and Bo Condon. Good evening, guys. How you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Before we get into the 24 Beers of Daytona, Justin, I've got your bio here. Let's hear a little bit from Bo, how you got into racing. I understand before we went on, we talked about you got a video company. So why don't you give me a little bit of your backstory on how you got into where you are now with both iRacing as well as your video company?
Yeah, so I'm more so, I guess, really out of our group, I'm the one true racing fan coming into it, so it's fun with our league and our guys to kind of be able to give that frame of mind. But I've been a race fan ever since I was born. I've been to countless races just throughout my life. I've never actually worked a race like Justin gets to live the dream, so it's fun when I hear him complain all the time about it, because it is a dream that a lot of us would love to do.
A lot of us would love to do.
Primarily just a fan, and I did start in 2014 my own video production company, RL Productions LLC. We specialize in commercial advertising and video marketing up and down the East Coast, but we are central to Baltimore, Maryland. And we also provide all of the broadcasts for the Thunderclap Stock Car iRacing series that is hosting the 24 Beers of Daytona event.
Oh, that is cool. So we share a little bit of a background. I don't have any audio or video production background, but I've done 6 years of talk radio here in New York. I've been a journalist and photographer pretty much since high school, and I've done some voiceover work and a little bit of television. So, and what type of what's your genre for your commercial production? Any special thing you feature on, or just broad spectrum?
So we actually tend to focus on small businesses as well as nonprofits that are international. We do a lot of conferences that will be either central to the U.S. or now with the new COVID world, doing a lot of virtual events through live streaming. But primarily, we like to focus on companies that specialize in a particular service, whether that be manufacturing or doing home services like landscaping, doing consistent ads for them. But right now we're actually venturing into the worlds of working for breweries and distilleries, because I want to get even more creative with the different kind of shoots that we do and start having the kind of freedoms that you can have when you're dealing with a medium like that, where you're taking something from scratch and turning it into a beautiful product that people enjoy.
Oh, the breweries around here are expanding like crazy, and we've also got a number of really good distilleries. And you just said another connection there that we have. I have my own garden design and landscaping company. I retired from retail management in the lawn and garden business, running one of the biggest garden centers in the country, and open my own garden design business. So it's a small world, isn't it? You get to talk to people about racing and all those connections. So how did you get to meet Justin? How long have you been friends?
So during the pandemic, when the NASCAR season shut down, my business, although it was still up and running, I wasn't doing a lot of shoots out in person. So I told my fiance at the time, now wife, that, hey, I really need something.
Yeah.
So I got a new racing wheel and got on Xbox. And just one night late drinking, playing NASCAR Heat of all things, met Justin, and we linked up and created the NASCAR Heat Hellraiser League.
No kidding.
And had a lot of fun with that.
The good old days.
The good old days. Y'all can have this league. And it grew into what is now the Thunderclap iRacing series.
Oh, that's great. Probably say this is probably the 12th podcast I've had guests on since going back to November, and every single one of them has been new guys to iRacing, what I call, COVID kids, except one who was on just the other night, who got on back in 2014. So, Justin, I've got all the guys in my league. They want to know about the 24 beers, but of course, they want to know, other than living, where are you, in Mooresville, North Carolina?
Yes, sir. Mooresville, North Carolina.
Cool. Other than living in the mecca of NASCAR, how did you get the job that Bo says you love to complain about, changing tires for Zane Smith?
Oh, man. Long story, but I'll make it short for you. Just kind of knew what I wanted to do out of high school. I moved down here when I was 18. And it just, everybody kept telling me, you got to go to the North Carolina area, got to go to the Charlotte area, Mooresville, the old Race City, USA story that has been told over and over and over again. And it's the truth. This is the mecca of motorsports, and you got to be in this area to be in this sport. And I got down here, and it's been a roller coaster of an adventure for sure, different deals, different opportunities, but it's been a lot of fun. I went to NASCAR Tech in 2012. I'm also alumni to Pit Instruction Training, and then I've been contracted with a couple different teams. I've done some stuff with RCR. I'm contracted with RFK Racing now, which they help give us the deals that we get to do. I had the opportunity to win at the Brickyard last year with Colleague Racing and AJ Allmendinger, so it's been a fun little adventure. And during the week, I work for Champion Tire and Wheel. That we're the company that does all the tire and wheel maintenance for all three touring series, and we get to play around with some other fun stuff too. So it's definitely been fun. We've been just clicked off 9 years back in October that I've been down here. So
wow,
not looking back anytime soon. I'll tell you that. All out the windshield.
I don't blame you. Well, congratulations there. That sounds like you said, a dream job. What's it like when you're waiting for the truck to come in? Like if you're on a long green flag run, and he's got to come in whatever the number of laps are, how does the anticipation build up? What's the momentum and the adrenaline like? And are you bored at any time waiting for jumping over the wall?
Oh, bored, yeah. I could definitely say that there's a lot of boredom moments in racing, especially I'm sure the fans that are listening know some of these cup races can really drag on. And my mindset has changed over the years. You had a little bit of nervousness when you start out, and then you kind of had the deal of, how would it be when you run up front? Where now, and our coaches kind of put it in our mindset of attacking the vehicle when it comes in, and it kind of has created this new thing where I get real hungry for the next stop. You want to, and I prefer to be that leading vehicle. I prefer to be running up front, top five, battling, because I know my best performances and my mindset is where it needs to be when we're competing. It's a lot harder when you're mid-pack or having a bad day or something else is going on where you're not really competitive and you're pitting maybe with coming back by for a penalty or something like that. Takes the wind right out of your sails. So a lot of guys always ask you, do you get nervous or anything like that? I'd say there's a little bit of nerves before the race, but there's a light switch you got to have in this sport. And for me, it's the closing line of the national anthem. I always take a deep breath, and that's my light switch. And from then on, man, it's just be a hungry animal and go after it.
And Focus City, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Justin, you remember that time that you had me tape tires at Daytona, and then you blamed me for the wreck?
Yeah, we wrecked twice.
He says it was my tire that I
It's your
paid
fault.
for.
It was yours. The one set that you glued. After that, the race went to hell because of you.
I think you're a liar.
How long does it take? Because I'm watching that sometimes because we get some hot passes to a couple of the tracks and we're watching what's going on and the precision. How long does it take to get to where you can just pick that wheel up and it fits like magic?
Oh man, a lot of repetition. Some people just pick it up faster than others. I mean, you never truly stop learning your craft.
Mm-hmm.
He's just constantly fine tuning and finding different ways that may be faster, but you gotta be smooth as well.
Yeah.
Pit stops are very much a choreographed dance, and that's where everybody gets it mistaken when they think you gotta go out there and go fast. It's just a choreographed dance, but you gotta be athletic enough to do the dance moves.
Yeah.
And if you can do the dance moves in the correct order with no mistakes, it's going to be a blazing fast pit stop, and that's just because of the way it's choreographed. Speed up a couple movements here and there, and it's 80% mental, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's just in 20% the physical part. Because I'll be honest, you see a lot of guys out there that can be in the greatest shape that really aren't that good when they get over the wall. I mean, there's a lot of these guys, D1 college athletes, that come in and just can't get that mental part. And
right.
Unfortunately, the sport is so cutthroat that it'll cut them right out. But yeah, it's just a repetition, man. Is all it really comes down to. Practice makes perfect.
And what kind of workout do you do? Because I'm sure there's a lot of strength training. Or sorry, tell me what your workout is to get back in shape when the off season is done.
Oh, it's clearly the 24 Beers of Daytona event. What do you mean?
Draiss grouping total war.
There you go.
Yeah, a lot of pre-workout. We practice 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. Me personally, I do a lot of strength training and lifting in my own time. A lot of guys do it through the race teams and they have trainers. But I've luckily have been trusted enough to do my own workouts. I try to go 5 to 6 days a week in the off season, and I try to go about at least 4 days during season. And also at my work, we do sometimes twice a week, but definitely Friday mornings, we do like a circuit training workout. So I get a mixture of it all, anywhere from like a powerlifting to a CrossFit style variants of workouts. But you definitely, I mean, these especially if you're in a Trucks and Xfinity series, those tires still weigh about 80 pounds with interliners. So
wow,
these Cup guys definitely haven't made with these non-liner low-profile tires this year, but I'm sure we'll still hear a lot of complaints.
Now, did they change the body style on the trucks yet to composite, or was that just Xfinity?
I can't say I don't think it's fully composite. I do know they changed the nose and tail for, I believe, all 3 manufacturers, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Now, when they make a body change like that, does that get in the way of the wheels, or make you have to do things a little bit different when there's a change?
Not necessarily. I mean, at the end of the day, for what our job is, the hub never changes.
Got it. Okay.
And that's the way that we're trained to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what the fenders are and whatever. And trust me, as a tire carrier, the fenders bite.
Yep.
They definitely try to bite you sometimes. But yeah, once you get over that and don't look at it that way, just aim for the stud.
Yeah.
Confidence is key, man. Go in there with confidence, and it'll.
Oh yeah,
that
makes sense. Tell me about any close calls you've had, either with your driver coming in and not seeing you, or maybe getting clipped by another driver, if you've had any.
Which time?
Okay.
Let's see. I think the first scary moment, I was actually a jackman at the time, and Austin Wayne Self came in front of us. I think I was pitting for Parker Kligerman, and they came around us at Texas, and it felt like somebody kind of like smacked me in the ankle like a hockey puck.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't really know what was going on. And when I turned around, I didn't see anything. And then I see the truck flying in. And I see my changer, my carriers jumping on the hood. And that's when it clicked. Like, I just got hit. And it was actually, I sprained my ankle. I got the side skirt whammy. He came in so tight to our truck that I ran my ankle over. We were in the Xfinity Series this past year, and I went to run out, and Brandon Jones was leaving his stall, and we were coming in, and we collided on pit road, and I just kind of stood there in front of both of them, like, hey, I should probably get out of the way. I bounced off the B post a couple times of just tight corners, but a lot of people call me a sick individual because I like to laugh about it. I think it's funny. I tell people all the time, if you're ever scared to jump off the wall, you're in the wrong sport. Because you got to be a little bit insane. You got to kind of enjoy it.
Well, if you don't laugh at fear, it's going to consume you if you're scared of it. That's what it sounds like.
That it will.
So, that was a great segue talking about the workout for 24 hours of Beers of Daytona. Tell me how you came up with that idea and formulated it. Take me back to when you thought about it, how you planned it out, and where you are today as far as how many cars are in and what your expectations are from the race.
Oh, I'm going to drinking. Yeah. Drinking may or may not have been involved. I'll let Bo take it away on how this was created. This is kind of his baby.
Okay.
I kept threatening them. I said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to do a 24 Beers of Daytona. They're like, hell no. How the hell are we going to do that? I'm like, we're going to do it. We're going to do the damn thing. And yes, there was alcohol involved in the planning stages of this thing because why not? But I just kept drilling them like, I'm going to figure it out. And then one day we got done running and I said, you know what? I'm not tired. I'm going to stay up. And I just came up with the whole plan, how I would want to do it and how, because I am not one of the hyper competitive guys. Right. I do this for fun.
Same here.
Well, at least not in this. And I do it for fun. I want to have fun doing it. So, and this race is designed to be fun. So I said, obviously, not everybody is going to be able to or want to down 24 beers. Some of us, that's a starting point. But how do I find a way to make that, have an even ground? It wasn't going to be 24 hours of straight driving either because, again, you want it to be fun. You want these guys to not get too competitive with it and feel like if they wreck in one session, that's it for them.
Got it.
So I went with the 3 hour of 4 sessions split in 3 hours. So it'll be a total of 12 hours of driving, but you have that whole 24-hour period to drink your beers. And it's the 24 Beers of Daytona because that was a cute name. That was the name we went with. Yep. But it's technically 12 beers per driver per team, with teams up to 4 drivers, because 24 beers for 4 guys we found was too easy.
Oh, that's way too easy.
If you're a single car team, having to do 24 beers by yourself, that wouldn't be fair. I'm trying to be one of those guys.
I'll try to finish 24 before the green flag.
I mean, that's my goal with me.
That's fine. So they're 3 hour sessions. How long between the sessions?
So it depends. There is a 3 hour break, I believe, between the first and second session.
Okay.
Then you have about eight hours of sleep that you can get, or 9 hours of sleep, because then the third session starts at 9 a.m. and then that'll go till 9 to 10 to 11, 12. Yep. And then 12:30, so after a 30-minute break, we go into the final session. So you don't get a big break between that last one. There's your real endurance fuel, because you're going to be driving for essentially 6 hours straight.
Got it.
And that's going to be when you're your drunkest.
And how do you tabulate if people are actually drinking beer or drinking 7-Up?
So we are going to have on the Thunderclap Stock Car iRacing Series page confirmation.
As well as the Discord as well.
Okay.
In the Discord as well.
Yeah.
We will need visual confirmation after every session how many beers you're in. And if by the final session we have not gotten a confirmation of the number of beers that you've had, you will be automatically booted from the final session.
Oh, and sent to AA. Or, you miss out the free cards to AA, I guess, right?
Exactly. That is the present at the end.
Yeah, so all the updates like that are also going to be on the 24 Beers of Daytona Discord, which I have been sharing on the iRacing community pages, as well as our personal league page of Thunderclap. iRacing Stock Car Series. Man, I gotta get used to saying that and not invitational. It's gonna take me a while, but I'll get through it. But yeah, as well as the Thunderclap Facebook page, we have everything posted on there. And eventually I'm going to get to it and get our Instagram up to date. I'm way behind on that.
Oh, cool. How many drivers do you have signed up so far?
Oh, that is a good question. And I'm on my computer. Let's go ahead and look at the directory. I know we have a ton that have joined the Discord.
Okay. So the
response, but I'll go ahead and take a look here.
Yeah. Response been pretty good, you think, so far?
Yeah, I mean, we are upwards to, I would say, well over 30 in our, in the Discord is by the day, just keeps getting higher and higher and higher.
Oh, that's great. And you running a road course or the oval at Daytona?
It'll be the Daytona road course, so essentially it will be, for all intents and purposes, the same setup that the Real 24 is running. We're going to run the Dallara P217 LMP2, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
It will only be that vehicle, though, and it will be a fixed setup because, again, it's for fun.
Right.
You don't want to have the guys that have the custom setups versus the guys that just got off work.
Exactly.
So we want to make sure that it's an even playing field, because it's going to be hard enough when you have guys that are drinking natural lights versus guys that are
drinking real beer,
pounders.
Yep. And how many tire changes do you get? How many quick fixes? And how you doing?
We're going to allow up to 10 fast repairs per session, which I know a lot of iRacing purists think that's way too many.
Not when you're drinking.
But again, we're racing for fun. We want people to be able to get their car fixed if it needs to be fixed and get back out there on the track and have a good time. And then tires, I believe we were sitting at 3 sets, Justin.
Yeah, we're still debating on the whole tire rule.
Yeah.
We do have frequent updates in our Discord and Facebook. Actually, welcome to the 6 new members of the Thunderclap Facebook. I just got that notification. But I believe we're looking at 4. So stay tuned to that if you're looking to join this event. And we'll definitely have that announcement coming soon by this weekend at the latest. We're kind of running a test session actually right now as we speak.
Yeah, I saw that.
Until, I believe, 12:30 it ends tonight. So if you're listening and you're wanting to join in, we do have a practice session up in the hosted public lobbies right now.
Yep, just search 24 Beers of Daytona. Actually, right behind me right now, my teammate Matt Greenland is putting down some hot laps and getting a feel for the car. He laughed when I said hot laps, but hey,
sounds good.
You're doing a good job.
Well, the laps are hot, not the beer.
Oh, gosh. Hot beer is so
I'm
good.
the one drinking the beer right now.
Yeah. I've got my cough medicine, if you don't mind. It's Jack Daniel's honey, because we just had a house full of COVID here 3 weeks ago, all the Omicron stuff, and the symptoms are still lingering. You still got the chest cold feeling and the cough going on, and so if that was a mild case, I'd hate to see what a severe case is, because it's more of a pain in the ass than anything.
Well, do you taste the whiskey?
Oh, I taste the whiskey. Yeah, I didn't lose any sense of taste. My wife did.
Ahead, then.
Yeah, my wife lost her sense of taste for a little bit, but she's got it back. And everybody else is doing well. So, what are some of the any other rules any drivers need to know during the race?
So during the race, I'm actually looking at the rules right now. Your finishing position per stage will carry over to the next stage. So if you finish 5th in the first stage, you will start 5th in the next stage. Black flags are in place. And so let's say you run off the course, you will have to serve the black flag like you would any other race. There will be admin yellows only, though.
Okay.
So if you are in an incident, if there's a yellow that needs to be thrown, we can do an admin yellow. I say, well, it's admin yellows only, but it's the, I guess, and I'm rarely ever an admin because I'm always broadcasting. But essentially, we will put out the yellow in the event someone is stuck in the wall. They just have to call it out because that might not throw one generally.
Sure. So none of the bull crap iRacing ones where you spin out, but you can correct it and get back on before iRacing so they don't have to worry about iRacing throwing their silly yellows like they do
Yeah,
sometimes.
no ridiculous yellows for someone just doing a pirouette. And there will be driver changes. We're going to allow not only the driver changes on iRacing where you have to pull into the pits, but like me, I'm going to have my team here with me.
Oh, cool.
Using the same iRacing account. So we're going to do official hop up out of the chair, stumble, do a fire roll, and then the other guy gets in.
Oh, that's great. I mean, sometimes they look like fire rolls when they're getting out of the, like the I guess the some of the cars I see at the IMSA series, where the driver that's taking over actually has to get in and help, or reach in and help unstrap the driver that's in there sometimes.
I anticipate that happening, and I'm not going to have any seatbelts on.
Oh, man.
I should probably also mention, too, the beer itself, or the drinking rules. Essentially, you can drink any size can you need. You just need to, by the end of the race, get to at least 288 fluid ounces, which would be the 24 beers. And that's if you're a team of 1 to 2, and it goes up, like I said, 12 beers per person, depending on the size of your team.
That sounds
they have to be packaged beverages at a local beer cooler, and you cannot use homemade cocktails. Like
okay.
Liquor.
So alcohol, or the hard stuff doesn't count.
Right, because that's too hard of math for us to figure out. You can go ahead and have some of that, but we still need to see the 24 beers at the end.
Gotcha. And any sponsors that are kicking in some prizes, or any surprises for crazy stuff that drivers do?
So I actually do have one of our sponsors in the Thunderclap Stock Car iRacing Series, TLC Incorporated, who has piqued some interest in getting into this thing. So he may be making an appearance as far as on the broadcast, and he also may be throwing in a little bit of prize money to the winner.
Cool.
Yes, and I do plan on getting a trophy made up that is in the works right now, just looking for the right design. But I think I got a pretty fun concept that I have found that I'll have that posted as well prior to the event. But actually, Bo, since you're here, and since you're on this amazing podcast, I do have a new rule that I would like to implement that we can announce right now.
You're hearing it. You're hearing it first, folks. Right here on the Joe Sixpack Podcast. What's the new rule?
So, a lot of discussion today with a few of the guys that are running this event at work, and a lot of questioning of, well, what are you going to do at the end of the race to prove the guys have drank the amount of beers that they're supposed to? So, what we're going to do in the race, when we look at the time as we're getting closer to 3:30 p.m. on Sunday, at 3:25, we'll give out a 5-minute warning. That'll be your 5-minute warning to post your picture of proof that you have finished and you have to post it either in Discord or on the iRacing Thunderclap Stock Car iRacing Series page and confirm before the checkered flag. That way, once the checkered flag waves, if you do not have evidence and you finish podium, you will be disqualified if you do not have evidence. And we'll give it probably about a 5-minute leeway post-race, because, I don't know, you might have a Motorola Razr and it's taking a little bit, or your dial-up connection to get it on there. Blink if you're listening. We know you're on it. But, we want to just make sure that we're not sitting there waiting and giving the trophy away to somebody that really, truly didn't earn it. And by earning this, man, it's all about the beers more than it is the laps.
This sounds like a hell of a lot of fun, and I think some of my guys in my league were looking at doing it now that they're going to find out that it's not actually 24 hours nonstop. So if somebody wants to find out about it, how do they get in touch with you? Are there any entry fees, iRating caps, SR caps, anything like that? Let me know what the stuff is to get in on the race.
So it's fully wide open. We have I'd say we get pretty serious with the Thunderclap Stock Car Series League that starts in middle of March. And it was something that, with how serious that can be, and some of the drama wrapped up in that does have a paid entry. We have payouts every week, a broadcast, race control, the whole 9 yards. We said, you know what? when Bo came up with this idea, I was like, this is a great way for not only for our guys to have fun on iRacing, but everybody, like, honestly, across the world could join this event for free and have fun with it. And all you got to do is, I did change the name in the iRacing directory to make it a little bit easier for everybody. 24 Beers of Daytona. Real simple. Go on there, apply to be a league member. I'll gladly accept it. We'll get you in there. If you have any car number or anything like that you need, you can find me, Justin Clapper, that's CLAPPER. Just like clap on, clap off. I know how it sounds. I've heard all the jokes. But you find me on Facebook, shoot me a message, or you can find our Facebook page at Thunderclap Stock Car Series.
Stock Car iRacing Series. Come on.
And Stock Car Series, parentheses, iRacing, Bo. Come on, man. Talking to the commish. But, and you can also find the 24 Beers of Daytona Discord, and I'll frequently be posting on the iRacing community and iRacing Leagues page, so feel free to find one of our posts, go in the comments, and I'm sure all the information is there somewhere.
Yep, I see.
I will say that it has officially gone international, because I had someone reach out to me who was, I believe, in Australia, and they don't go by ounces there. So
oh my gosh.
was having to do the calculations, and I'm like, I trust you.
Just tell them to just drink oil cans. That's all they got to do down there.
There you go.
Fosters. Well, that's
Straight
great.
Fosters.
Now, and you said it's you prefer that it just be normal, I guess Joe Six-Pack beer type of guys, and not all the fancy crap. Is that what you said?
So no, it can be anything that comes in a can. So it can be a canned cocktail. It can be a seltzer, a malt, cider, beer, light beer, whatever kind
whatever you
of
like to drink.
Beverage. We just have to have an easy way. It has to be sealed, essentially.
Right.
It has to be a way for us to measure the amount of ounces when you send your pictures over. If someone were to say just use Jack and Coke, we can't really determine whether you were using 1.5 ounce pours, 2 ounce pours, 11 ounce pours, or just
11 ounce pours.
That's where that becomes an issue. So it just has to be a sealed container.
Oh man, if it were 11 ounce pours, I don't think I would last 2 or 3 laps on that. That's great.
Well, you got it.
So there's no backup proof, like don't pee in the urinal. You got to pee in a cup, and you got to show X number of cups of pee per can of beer or something like that. None of that stuff.
No. I don't think I have the dexterity or the intelligence to be able to defer someone's pee or anything.
I just had to throw that in there. Justin, I got a question for you. I've got a 21-year-old son who's a budding sports car photographer. He's we both work over at Lime Rock during the Trans Am Series, IMSA, and their Historics weekend. We get to run hospitality and run the golf carts and stuff, make sure the drivers get to the podium if they win, and back and forth, and handing out prizes on pit row, etc., like that. Like I said, I've done a lot of commercial work and some commercial photography, so he's got press credentials through, I want to say it's something Podium Motorsports Photography or something. So he's getting his credentials for Watkins Glen, New Hampshire Motor Speedway, Dover, and Dirt Track Digest is going to be sending him to a couple tracks to take photos. Any word of encouragement for someone like him? He's 21, highly, highly motivated and passionate about taking pictures of things that go fast. Any advice on how to eventually get into the ranks like you did and taking pictures with the big guys?
Well, the only advice I will give him that I know, and my mother does a lot of motorsports photography as well, so very cool field, and really, and hopefully maybe we can meet and I could get some really cool photos of myself. I don't know.
Oh, cool.
But one of her biggest things is she'll tell everybody, and is a mistake that a lot of these photographers at racetracks make. Don't just take pictures of the cars.
Yep.
Capture moments.
Exactly.
Moments like, if you're at the racetrack, like little things like drivers, holding their kids.
Yeah.
They're giving their wives a kiss before the race. Pit crew members hugging their girlfriends before the race. Those are the moments
Right.
that we cherish the most, that nobody has pictures or film of.
Oh, yeah.
And if you can capture those moments, somebody will bite
Got
and
it.
want the product.
Because
that's the advice that I will give him for sure.
Got it. That's the angle I take when I'm at the track taking photographs. I like to do it's what I do is the genre of my favorite. It's called street photography, which is catching people in the moment, unrehearsed, and not knowing their pictures being taken. That's, so, like you said, capture the moment. So that's one of the I was at Watkins Glen last time Indy was there, and one of the best shots I took was one of the pit guys just in between pits, just sitting there relaxing. He looked like he was totally exhausted, and the look on his face just said, it captured the intensity that you talked about. So that's the type of shots I do, and I've been telling him to get into that, because I walk around the paddock at IMSA, and I want to get in there and take the pictures of the guys underneath the car, on top of the car, over the car, etc. like that. So I will definitely pass that along.
And I'll say from my industry too, bring extra batteries, bring extra lenses, and bring extra ibuprofen.
Exactly.
Those are my 3 rules.
Yep. I made that mistake when Carl Edwards' car was at our garden center, because I had this big, it was back when the Nikon D200 was, the borderline professional camera to have. And I packed everything in there, and I get to take the picture with the car coming out. The battery's dead, and I didn't bring any extra batteries with me. So,
ouch.
Yeah. So that's why I'm not a professional full-time photographer, because I make stupid mistakes like that. So definitely we'll pass that on. How important is it to have a second camera body to slap a lens?
I think it's crazy important.
Yep.
Because especially for filming motorsports, because you have to move so quickly.
Yeah.
You have one body that will maybe have your 70 to 200 on it, and then you have another one that's got your workhorse lens, like a 24 or 105, or maybe you want some super wide, so you've got something like a 12 to 24, or even just a prime.
Makes sense.
That
Yep.
is your go-to lens. You want to be able to switch back and forth as quickly as possible.
Is it? I know the answer to the question I'm going to ask anyway. Is it worth going the extra bucks for the expensive lenses?
It really is a different kind of podcast, because I could go on about that forever.
Okay, I thought so.
I'll give the answer that most people should give, I guess, and say, yes, it's worth it to get the better lenses, but I'll give my little bit of, I'm a laggard and a little bit of an aesthetic note. What really matters is, are you capturing the content?
Okay.
There's, you can get a shot with a kit lens that looks absolutely phenomenal. If you shoot it right, you shoot it with meaning. But, certainly at some point you want a fast lens that can get the job done and look good in RAW. But so sure. In short, go ahead.
Yeah. In short, go ahead, but a $5,000 pair of sneakers ain't necessarily going to make you a better basketball player at this moment.
Yep, I can still walk in flip-flops.
Yep, you can still sink a three-pointer in flip-flops. So, I covered pretty much everything that I had to talk about there. Unless there's something you guys wanted to add. Any other stuff you want to talk about on the 24 beers there? Oh, is it going to be broadcast, and who's doing that?
Yes. So Extreme Sim TV on YouTube will be broadcasting the first session as well as the last session.
Cool. Okay.
So we understand that, not everybody's going to want to sit there for 12 out of 24 hours and watch a bunch of drunks go around a racetrack, but or maybe they want to. But it'll be a fun take on seeing how guys get started in the event.
No, that's a good
I really
angle.
want to do a lot of SRX style in-race interviews where, we'll key up with a guy in Discord and be like, hey, how many are you in? What are you drinking? What's your strategy? What's this and that?
Oh, that's cool.
Plenty of jokes going.
Yeah.
And see the intensity of the start, and then come back the next day for the final 3-hour leg of it and kind of see what condition we're in. Should
That's
be
great.
really, really entertaining.
Now,
And
either one of you
RL
two.
Productions
Go ahead.
will also be providing some in-depth looks. I'll have some guys on my team here putting together some edits that will go into the broadcast. So that'll give you kind of an inside look at the pandemonium that is taking place too.
Excellent. So is anybody going to be streaming on their car for the full 24 hours?
I'm sure a lot of guys will.
Okay.
I am going to make a channel in the Discord for guys that want to do that.
Got
They
it.
can share their link and go ahead and do it. I know a lot of our drivers like to do that.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm assuming that somebody will, and I'm hoping they start posting those links soon so guys can definitely get a bird's eye view of an individual driver as well as the broadcast and make this a really, really cool inaugural event and hopefully something we could do for years to come.
Sounds good. Now, are you providing breathalyzers for any drivers to see how high they blow during the contest?
Not a requirement, but if they're willing to offer what they're at, that could definitely make things very, very entertaining.
Hey, I brought that up because when we had a vacation home up in the Adirondacks, and during the winter we'd go up for like a men's only weekend because my wife wouldn't go up there because it's 25 below in the winter and there's no indoor plumbing, just an outhouse. And this little bar we'd go to, which was a pretty decent restaurant, they had a little machine that you would, for 25 cents blow into and see how wasted you were, stuff like that. It was supposed to get people to call for rides or cut themselves off. But what it turned into was several times when we were up there, people were seeing how high they could blow, and whoever blew the highest got like a $50 prize or something. It was crazy. So
gotta love it.
Yeah. But that was a while ago. So, Bo, if anybody wants to get in touch with your company for video production, like me, the garden designer here, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, first you can go to rlproductioncrew.com. That's RL Production Crew, not Productions Crew or Production Crews.com. And you'll see all of our new content, some of our work from the past year. You can also follow the same RL Production Crew on Instagram, as well as find RL Productions you'll see a logo that looks a lot like Rowdy Energy's logo. And yes, I am frustrated about it, and I had it first. But if you see an RL Productions on Facebook that has a logo that is incredibly similar to Rowdy Energy, you found me. And you can also find myself on Facebook, Bo Condon, Condon. Yes, I a lot like Clapper got jokes. I got also jokes from my last name.
There you go.
You can find me there, and would love to work with anyone listening on any of your video marketing needs up and down the East Coast and all the way out to the West Coast as well.
Very good. Well, guys, I want to thank you very much for stopping by. I guess because you got a league race to get into in a little bit here, don't you?
Actually, we have the night off, man. I can't believe it. But what do we do instead? Let's run a 6-hour practice session.
Why not?
Sounds good to me.
Oh, that's great. Justin Clapper, Bo Condon from the 24 Beers of Daytona. Special guest tonight on the Joe Six-Pack Podcast. Guys, it sounds like a blast. I am definitely going to tune in on Saturday and watch the race for a little bit. On the 29th, 30th, I'm all booked up with getting our races going here for our Cup League. But anyway, I want to say good luck with that. And if you don't mind, if I could holler at you guys sometime in February, maybe just stop in again for a short chat and let me know how everything went and what the plans are for 2023.
Absolutely, man. We would love to, and that'd be perfect timing to start promoting the Thunderclap Stock Car Series. So looking forward to talking to you again.
There you go.
We'll come talk to you about it, and I'll kick the doors down and bring the beer.
Yep, and if we happen to get a track in that we get hot passes to, which is usually 2 or 3 tracks a year, then Justin will come look you up there and say hi.
Sounds good, man. Looking forward to it.
Okay, great. Have a good Cup season and have a blast at this race. And good luck in 2022 with Zane Smith. And we'll be looking for you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, have a good night, guys. Good night.
See ya.
Justin Clapper, Bo Condon. They got a wild thing going on. The 24 Beers of Daytona. Takes place over the weekend of January 29th and 30th. And you can get a hold of them on Facebook. You can look up Bo Condon for RL Productions at rlproductioncrew.com. Look him up on Instagram. I'll definitely be checking him out for all your video and marketing needs anywhere on the East Coast, and he even says out on the West Coast. Sounds like a lot of fun. It'll be taking place just a couple weeks from now. And that's the 24 Beers of Daytona. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll be checking up to see how that is going. If you remember the Joe Sixpack Racing League, we have our own crypto coin, as you might know, called Lugcoin. And it's basically serving as the equivalent of a charter system. There's no league fees with Joe Sixpack Racing. Lugcoin is 100% voluntary. It's not a tradable coin. You can buy it and sell it only on Joe Sixpack Racing. And its value is determined by the average of 3 regular crypto coins that are out there in the market, a mid-cap, a high-cap, and a new one. And when you leave the league, other leagues, you don't get your money back, but here you can sell your Lugcoin back and split the profits. That's the Joe Sixpack Racing League Lugcoin, the official crypto coin of Joe Sixpack Racing. Joe Sixpack merch shop is packed with over 500 different items with the logos of Joe Sixpack Racing, our Cup Series, Truck Series, and the Joe Sixpack Podcast. If you like the podcast, buy a coffee cup, buy a t-shirt, buy anything at cafepress.com/Joe Sixpack Racing League. $5 of every purchase goes back to the league to cover broadcasting expenses. As you know, we're broadcasting 2 leagues this year. Tuesday Night Truck Series for the first time is broadcast, and that is on Turn 3 Network. And our Sunday Cup Series is PTM Racing TV. Tomorrow night is week 3 of our Formula V Series, and that will be at Pocono Legacy East, the road course. And our next truck race will be the one and only road course of the year. That'll be at Oran Park. And I think that's a 40-lap race. But anyway, if you want to practice on that, you just go on to the Joe Sixpack League site on iRacing. Click on Sessions, click on Oran Park, and you'll go to I believe it's the lower left-hand corner. You can just click and do a test session with the setups. If you want to have a practice on your own, the setup for Oran Park for the Truck Series, we are using the Watkins Glen setup. So you go pick your truck, pick the track, and when you get to the setups, scroll down to the Watkins Glen fixed setup, which ends, I believe, in .sto. And this Sunday, the Sunday Cup Series is at Atlanta, and that is 100 laps. All the information is already up on Discord, all the settings and such like that. And the race is also already scheduled under Sessions under Joe Sixpack Next Gen Cup Series League. So if you want to do a test series on that without having to transfer all the information over and paying that 50 cents an hour to rent time, just click under Sessions on Next Gen Cup Series, go to the lower right-hand corner, and click Test. And you'll be running the same setup with the same fuel, the same tire changes, and everything. And that's about it for the Joe Sixpack Podcast for this edition. Once again, I want to thank Justin Clapper and Bo Condon from the 24 Beers of Daytona, taking place January 20th and 30th. And all you got to do is drink a lot of beer. And they're in 3-hour sessions. You take a break, and then you come back the next day and you finish up, and then a half-hour session, and then the last one is a 6-hour sprint until the end. And this is the end of the Joe Sixpack Podcast for this edition. And as always, we'll see you on the track. Have yourselves a good night.